Good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is for you. I hope you're having a fantastic day. My name is Zach Shomler. This is the Desperately Dating Podcast, Episode 8. I didn't screw you. You told me to do that, and I don't feel good about that at all. I was like, should I say it? Should I say podcast? She's like, you should. Now I don't feel good about that at all. I'm super insecure. I said podcast, and I feel weird about it. My name is Zach Shomler. This is my wonderful and wise stepmom over to my right. You can't see her. It's an audio podcast. Let's add to the mystery. I'm wearing a Skyline Chili t-shirt because I love the brand. It's a great one. Oh, dude, it's great. Yeah. It says Yes Way because any way works. I love Skyline Chili. By the way, look, I'm so sorry. It's a dating podcast. Spaghetti, chili, and cheese, great mix combination. Don't care who you are. It's great. It's amazing. Today's episode is all about the friend zone. I think maybe even like a volatile topic. Like that's the word I would use. It's a big one. It's super.
It is.
I think it impacts so many people. I mean, look, my story, if you listen to episode 4 of the Desperately Dating Podcast about our stories, I was in the friend zone for years and years and years and years. And it's a painful place to be. I mean, I think that what comes to mind when I think of the friend zone is just unrequited love.
Yes.
And I don't know how to define unrequited. I just know it's not returned. It's love that's not returned. It's love
one-sided.
Yeah, and it's so painful. And you might need to know for yourself. Like I was in a relationship with someone who I got out of the friend zone briefly, and I think I'm glad I did because now I know. Like I had that question answered. I'd always wondered what would it be like to date this person, and I got to date them, and it was a mess.
Yeah,
but at least I know now, right? Like I
can move on from that.
As painful and awful as it was, and maybe people out there need to know, like they just need to answer that question for themselves. If that's how you feel, go ahead. But let me warn you now: if someone doesn't want to date you, walk away. Don't.
Trying to talk them into it, probably not a good idea.
It's painful, man. Like if someone can't recognize how great you are, don't waste your time. Don't even. I hope I don't sound too bitter, but like I spent so many years of my life waiting and waiting and hoping and hoping and hoping, and it's like don't. Just go find someone who actually wants you, and it doesn't have to be convinced that you're great, or doesn't have to be convinced that to date you, because it's just it's one of the most painful experiences of my life. And my brother died. Like, it's up there though with like not being loved back. It sucks.
What do you think that you got out of that? Out of, holding out hope for that person?
It felt like a goal.
Oh, it was say more about that.
Well, throughout my football career, I was like, I'm going to be the starting quarterback. And it was something I could earn. Because in life, like for example, you want to have a successful podcast. You can work hard and earn that. You want to be a starting quarterback at your college football team or your high school football team. You can earn that with hard work and doing the work it takes. You can make it happen. But unfortunately, relationships are not something you can just do the work and make it happen. Like it's not how that works. And I did the work. I slaved away. I served and I did everything I possibly could to try to earn that relationship. And in fact, I got the relationship. Mm-hmm. But the fact is that's not a healthy way to build a relationship at all. If it's all work and you're serving and you're like, think of me in a weight room, like grinding, working hard, or throwing a football or doing footwork drills. That's great in football. But if you're doing that same kind of work to make a relationship happen, that's super unhealthy and doesn't pan out at all. Agreed.
Yeah. One thing about the friend zone, I think that it's not always one-sided. I can think of a time where I had a friend, we were good friends, and there was definitely some chemistry there that was never realized. And it was almost like it was an unspoken agreement between the two of us that we weren't going to try. We weren't going to move forward, or maybe we just never did. I don't know. But so I don't think it's always one-sided.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I really like, first of all, that you slow down the conversation. I think it's hard for me to not talk about this and get kind of riled up a little bit because it is something that's so near and dear to me and so emotional and kind of painful. There's a lot of pain here for me.
Obviously. Yeah.
I hope I don't sound too bitter. I mean,
no, you don't actually. You don't. Just more like you're trying to think through it and learn from it.
Yeah. Well, everyone wants to date their best friend.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she did too. Like I think she wanted the idea of dating me was cool. We both loved the idea of each other dating. It didn't work, and that's painful. But I think you have to ask yourself, where does it start?
Right.
I mean, do you start as good friends? like, I think sometimes there are people that have an extreme attraction for a long time. They never tell each other, and they're both kind of hiding it away. And
Yeah.
but that's not what I had. I was someone who I was trying, and they didn't want me, and they never saw me that way. And I mean, I think what's really, I'm going to make an analogy. I'm going to make two, actually. So first of all, the city of Cincinnati has really changed in the last 10 years. And everyone that would visit the city would go, if you visited it 7 years ago and then visited it today and went back to see it today, you'd be like, it's a different city. But the people that live in the city and were there every single day, inside every single day, had a harder time recognizing the change because they were so close to it.
Sure.
Or I've become a successful YouTuber. And it was so crazy, man. Someone sent me a video yesterday. The Seattle Seahawks receiver DK Metcalf posted a video with me in it. And I was like, it was like the biggest sports personalities in the world and me. I'm like, what the fuck? This is so cool. And it was a monumental moment. I was like, this is amazing. Like I felt like I made it a little bit.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And that's where my career is. But a lot of people that grew up with me or saw me in middle school or high school or they can't view me as that sportscaster guy. They can't view me as the guy on NFL Network or the guy on whatever, like with a million views. Like that, they can't see it that way because it's hard. My point is that it's really hard to change your perception of somebody or the way you're perceived by somebody else. And so if you start a relationship as friends, changing the perception from friends to someone you sleep with or date or that you're really in an emotionally endearing relationship with is super hard.
For sure. Yeah. I know I had one experience where in high school, my best friend had this boyfriend who then ended up becoming a friend of mine too. Like we were kind of a threesome because I was always the one without anybody to date.
I looked at you. I wish that was on camera. I did like the gym face. I was like,
What can I say? I was selective even then. But anyway, so the three of us would hang out, and this was for like years and years and years. Like I'm saying, like 10 plus years. They were together, and we were like a threesome. We would get together, and I always really, really liked him. Not like in a romantic way, but just like he's like a best friend. He's equally my best friend as she was, because really we weren't friends that long before they got together. So anyway, this is kind of a long tangent, but when they broke up, she basically told me that you got to pick. You got to either take me or him. You can't have us both. She was going to refuse to let me to continue to be friends with him. And I was like, fuck that. Like, I'm not going to play that game. There's just no way. So I let her go as a friend instead, because I felt like that was really not okay.
Friends don't give friends ultimatums.
No. Definitely not. And especially not like that, because I had 10 years invested in a friendship with him too. So that just didn't feel right to me.
It's your problem, not mine. That's what you end up saying.
Yeah, pretty much. I should have said it in those words, but I didn't.
Well, yeah,
so anyway,
we were young and
let her go and kept him as a friend, right?
Yeah.
And so then, a year, maybe two later, we were like, maybe we should see if this could be romantic. And it was kind of like a conscious decision. It wasn't like it just naturally evolved. But what I found was I couldn't stop thinking of him more like a brother, even though it would have been ideal on paper, it would have been great. But in reality, it just wasn't there. That little spark or whatever. I don't know what that secret sauce is, but it just wasn't there.
Yeah, I was told like it just, you can't, when you view someone one way, there's like, it's something undefinable about relationships. Like it can all work on paper. My family can love you. You're great. You make money. Like you're attractive.
We're best friends. Yeah.
It's everything on paper is amazing, but there's just not there's a spark. There's something that's missing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's,
and that being said, what you're saying about, maybe it's because you've known them in one way so long or whatever, you can't change to thinking about them in a romantic way. But I honestly don't know if I had met him without having had this whole like friendship thing happen first. I don't know if that spark would have been there. I think any little tiny bit of a spark that made me want to think about seeing if it could be romantic had to do with the friendship part that led up to it. I don't think that was probably ever there.
Well, I think for me, like, so I was in the friend zone for 5 years. Why did it take 5 years? Because it wasn't there. It was, like if it really was there, it would have happened. Like we made out in high school. Like if she liked me, it would have worked. Like it never did, and there's a reason it never became something because it wasn't what was wanted.
Yeah, for sure.
And like I think man, when you're rejected, and especially me, like rejection, is my biggest darkest thing. It's my biggest insecurity is being rejected.
Yeah.
So like that hurts so much to be rejected by someone you really care about, but you gotta let it. Like if you're a guy out there listening and this girl rejects you, like just move on, accept it.
It's a numbers game. Don't dwell on it.
But like it's important. Like you feel hurt. Like you feel really, really in pain when you're like not wanted. But don't hang on to it. I can't say this enough. Like become better, not bitter. Move on. Let it go. Whatever phrase you need. Like it's just better to go find something healthy where you're wanted and where there's a level playing field. Like I think the friend zone often is a one-sided relationship. And even if you get out of the friend zone, it's often, for me, it was still one-sided. It was still me giving all this effort and bending over backwards to make it work. I mean, we'll talk about the story. There's a story about dairy that I'm not gonna say what it is, but we'll tell it in the next episode. But I just think it's so important. Like you might need to know for yourself, but indecision isn't yes. We said that in the last episode. Said it here. Like if someone's like not sure about you, move on. Like there's so many people out there in the world. If someone's like can't make up their mind whether you're the person or not,
if the salesman's coming out,
have the foresight to say this isn't working, and I just need to move on.
I just wanted to go back a little bit to what you said about that pain of being rejected by a friend, and I think that's it's a very exquisite kind of pain because that person knows you so well and they still reject you. You know what I mean? It's like you've been friends. They know you so well, you get along so great, and even then they don't want you. I mean, that's like the worst.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, for me, it was like, look, you know everything about me, and you still don't think I'm special enough to date.
Right.
And I hope, and I don't think it was about me.
No,
I really don't.
not.
I don't think it was like. I really think she saw like how special of a person, because she was friends with me for years. I mean, there's a reason she kept me in her life. She really thought I was a cool guy and a special guy. The switch between friends and dating wasn't possible for her, and that just is what it is. You know, it's you have to respect that, and you have to move forward. I mean,
yeah, and I didn't bring that up to like make you feel worse about it.
No. But that's exactly. But you said it because that's exactly how I feel. I mean, it's like it's incredibly like what the. Like I think I'm great. I really think I'm a catch. And for them to, at first, even now as you wrestle with like, did you not see what I had? Did you not see? But I don't think it's what it was.
But it's not about that. That's what I want to get back to. Is that there's got to be that little something. I don't know. It's like a little spark.
It's undefinable. I mean, it really is like there's a special moment. You're like I can date. I'm with that. I want that person.
Yeah, for sure. Now, what do you think? Do you think it's possible, this concept that that maybe it's just like a timing issue, that like the timing was never right? Do you think that's possible?
It's bullshit. I mean, to be honest, like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think maybe like, so I think my ex wasn't ready for any serious relationship, but I don't think it was about me. It was about her not being ready for any relationship. But if it's not the right time with that person, it's never going to be the right time with that person. Is that crazy? Like, what do you think about that?
I don't know. Because I'm thinking about how, you kind of grow over time and that sort of thing.
Because I think like, I think the relationship I want is one headed towards marriage or headed towards very serious. And I think that's not where my ex-girlfriend was. I just don't think she's ready for that kind of relationship where you are intertwined and you're headed towards marriage and yada, yada. Like, I think she's a couple years away from wanting that kind of relationship. But I don't think it was about me. And I really think that like, it was never the right time for her and me, and it's never going to be. It just never like it. You can do all the math any way you want, but like, does that ever really change? Like,
I don't know. That's what I'm kind of.
I really don't.
I'm kind of curious about.
I mean, I think that like
is the time ever going to be right?
Because if the time is right, like if someone's a great fit with you, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm serious. Like if I'd been so great, she couldn't resist me. It wouldn't have. There's a really cool song by Ben Platt called Grow As We Go. And it's literally like so interesting. It speaks to all the things that went wrong in my relationship. It's about how like, you feel like you need to be alone. You feel like you need time to grow. And why don't we grow together? Why don't we grow, as two rather than as one? And I really like that song because it's kind of sweet and it's cute. But I think there's something that's a little bit wrong about the song. It's like, if she doesn't want to grow with you, you can't fight for it. Like, and so it has to be two-sided. And that song is only from one perspective. But the point is like, if someone really sees you as this amazing guy and timing shouldn't matter so much. I mean, like, I could be wrong. I'm very naive. I'm 22. Like, who knows? But I think if someone's really that great, you find a way to make it happen and grow together. And you can't be with, like, you can't just put someone on the back burner and say, hey, someday we'll get together. Like, no way. That's not how that works. Am I wrong? Am I naive? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm kind of thinking, like, if I had met your dad back when we were like in our 20s, I don't know that we would have clicked the way that we do, because I think we both had to experience some life and go through some hard stuff, and that's part of what brought us together, even though that sounds weird.
Yeah.
this is like a total tangent, but your dad and I have a lot of fun with telling people how we met. Like we've made up a couple of different versions. And so, when we see people, we're like, we're joking like, oh, you tell us, or no, you tell it so much better. And then just kind of sitting back and having fun with seeing which one of these fake stories, the other one's going to trot out. And one of them was that we met each other, like, I don't know, 25 years before, and then, came back together, when we were living in the same city. And I don't, part of me think that is kind of a romantic notion. I don't know if it ever really happens, but I guess I'm just not ruling out that it's possible.
It's dangerous, especially for me, someone who's waited for so long. Maybe that's why I fight it so hard. It's like, I don't want to wait.
Well, if you're waiting for them, then that's a different story. But if you, kind of come back together later or whatever.
My good friend Colin met someone in college, and like 15 years later, they ended up dating. Mm-hmm. They like reconnected they threw someone at a party or something. And they're like, we always had attraction. And they went on a date and they ended up dating for like years after that.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. How about this? Maybe here's the premise, right? If someone's this great, do you let them walk away?
I don't know. I think that shit happens though. Honestly, I think circumstances do play a role.
No, I guess that's right. That's fair.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you're not ready for, like, I don't know. But it goes back to this, like, so to care for yourself, like if it's me, like, and someone doesn't want to be with me, they see me as a friend, doesn't matter. Walk away. Mm-hmm. Like, their issues are their issues, but your issue is you want a relationship with them or with somebody else, and if they don't want to be with you, they don't want to be with you, and you cannot wait. You just.
Oh no, I'm not suggesting that.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's maybe like a magical fairy tale, but my point is like you can't foresee that. Mm-mm. You can't foresee a future where they come back into your life and yada yada. Like maybe timing matters. Like you can't worry about that if you're the person being friend zoned.
Right, but by the same token, if somebody from your past came and a lot had changed and there always was a spark, it's okay to give it a try. I think.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, I guess.
So maybe you shouldn't immediately rule it out.
You're in your 40s. You're your age. Like, if someone like comes up and they're like, "Hey, like, remember me? I'm Greg from high school." And you're like, "Oh, Greg was always so awesome."
Yeah.
Like, you want to go on that date. You maybe want to fuck Greg. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, I always wanted
go for Greg. For me, it was Ian from college. Oh, he was dreamy. Oh my God. But okay, well, we got to ask that question now. Is there anyone in your past that you wished you had kind of pushed it a little more?
No, I mean, I did it with the one I wanted. I mean,
okay.
I was pretty one. I mean, like, literally from high school on, I was like, this is the person I want. I even told all my friends in college, like, I'm going to get with this girl. I'm going to get with this girl. Like, and my friends laughed at me.
You're
like,
goal-oriented.
But that was the wrong way to date someone.
Yeah.
Like, I so badly wanted and believed, like, this was the person. Like, I just was, you know. And I think, like, I'm the kind of person that when I see something I want, I go after. I mean, there's not really a person in the past I'm like, was that a missed opportunity? No, not really. Like I kind of, as maybe as awful as this is to say, like I went and got every opportunity I could. I
mean, you sowed those wild oats.
How do we put a bow on this? I mean, like if someone's in the friend zone, guy or girl, how do we give them hope or give them something to feel good about or move forward with? Because I just can't. I want to care for their heart because it's so painful when you're not wanted by someone and. I think the best answer is like just go find someone who wants you, who actually wants you, who isn't wishy-washy, who isn't unsure about you. Like if you're being friend zoned, maybe that's here's the problem with the whole episode so far is like it's all geared towards the person being friend zoned because that's my experience. What if you're friend zoning someone? I mean, I can't imagine. I cannot imagine. I know there are
I'm
people.
Guilty.
There are people in my life that like if they wanted to date me, I'd be like, I'm really sorry. Like I'm good. I don't want to date you. I see you as a friend, and that's all I see you as. And if they really like, if they came at me with like a hard like, hey, let's try this, I'd be like, I am so uncomfortable and sorry. Like I know you're great. I know we're good friends, but like I just can't go there with you. I mean, I kind of feel for my ex. Like, what do you do with someone you're that close with comes at you with like, not an ultimatum, but like a really good proposal, and you're like, I don't know. I
think just like you said, you're just honest about it.
Yeah.
But it could be confusing, being the one who is friend zoning someone. I've been there. I'm not proud of it, but
why aren't you proud of it? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I guess because in some sense it felt like I was, and none of this was like really calculated or conscious or anything. Yeah. But I think if I was really honest with myself, would have acknowledged that I was kind of stringing somebody along, because it, maybe it feels good to have like this sounds really bad, but the backup plan, and you like, well, if I don't find the one, then at least I could look at some of these friend zone options, pull some of these guys forward from the friend zone type of thing.
You're like
I know that sounds really
available at all times.
Kind of.
I mean, that's how I always honestly felt about my
honestly, you're not proud of it, but
yeah, you're like keeping them around. You're allowing them to.
Yeah.
I think, man. So here's a really important piece of this. I'm not friends with my ex-girlfriend. We're not friends anymore. We were friends for a long time. We're no longer friends. And I don't think that you can. I think if someone really wanted to date me, I'd say like, hey, I'm really sorry. We should just end things. We shouldn't be friends. We shouldn't because you want a friend relationship with me, and you want a dating relationship with me. I want a friend relationship with you. Like, I don't think it's a healthy way to have a friendship, to be with someone who really always wants you. I mean, I think you kind of gotta step away and gotta be like, I don't know. I just think it's.
And then take them out of being a friend as well. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because it's just not a healthy place to have a. What do you think?
Well, okay. Here's what I think. I think actually that's not your decision to make. If the other person is pining away for you, that's up to them. I mean, they've got to take care of their own heart. I guess as long as you feel good about being upfront and honest about things and not be stringing them along like I did in the past.
I guess maybe that's huge. Like, so
if you let them know there's no hope here and they still want to continue the friendship, and maybe that's hurting their heart, and maybe it's not, but that's not really for you to decide.
That's fair. I mean, I guess I'm the one who ended our friendship. Like me and my ex. I mean, I was the one who was like, I can't be friends. I can't watch you date other guys. I'm not down for that.
That's okay. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're friend zoning someone, I just feel for that. Like,
I do too.
I feel for both sides of it. Like, either side of unrequited love is just painful.
It is.
And sad.
Yeah, but it really is just indecision, right?
Yeah.
And we've already covered how indecision means no.
Yeah. And that's how you live your life. I mean, if you're not sure about pants, you don't buy them. If you're not sure about a car, you don't buy it. If you're not sure about a house or an apartment, you don't get it.
Well, another thought is not everybody is really super goal oriented, about finding a relationship right now, you know, so maybe lingering in the friend zone for a while is not unpleasant and not unworthwhile.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there as an idea.
I mean, like, look, it was, I think what's interesting is like, I have no regrets either. I mean, I hope that's clear. Like it was a great friendship. It really was. We were good friends for a long time and got a lot of personal growth, a lot of good experiences out of it. And I think that, I think she would say the same thing. And I think even trying to date a failed relationship, I have no regrets about that either. Like, I had to try and I had to know for myself. And I think she felt the same way.
Yeah. Yeah. So sometimes you just have to answer that question.
Yeah, you do. I mean, how would you end this? What would you say? I mean, like, so if your son was getting friends, what would you say to him?
Oh man, that's such a hard question. I don't know. I think I'd probably actually try and say very little. Let him work it out. I think it's a growth opportunity.
It's lessons you have to learn on your own.
It is. I really do think so.
Yeah. That's why I started out saying, like, you might need to know for yourself. You might, like, just no matter how many warnings I can give, like, I recommend don't do it. Like, don't walk away. Like, you might just have to figure it out on your own. I mean, some lessons are best learned through trial and error. Well,
and to be fair, I mean, it didn't work for me, but that doesn't mean that it can't work, that some people could start out as friends and, something changes and they decide to move forward. As long as it's mutual, then mutual about giving it a try, like you and your former girlfriend did. I mean, I think it's okay to walk it out and see where it goes, but then just be smart enough not to let it, linger, I guess, if it's not working. So and I think you handled that very well, actually. You recognized it wasn't healthy for you. She wasn't a great, you weren't a great fit together, all those things. And so you very maturely said, I'm out.
Yeah. Anything else to add? Have we done our due diligence? I mean, I
think so.
I just want to care for hearts. I know. This is a huge topic that, like, it's just a big one. It's a big one that's painful to.
But if, bottom line is if either one of you is undecided, it's a no, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Yeah. Guys, my name is Zach Shomler. This has been the Desperately Dating Podcast, episode 8. My name is Zach Shomler. That has been the wonderful and wise Karyn Shomler, my stepmom. And this has been a podcast. Guys, have a great day. And remember that Skyline Chili is, in fact, a good thing.